There's some madness in basketball, and it's not of the NCAA variety. Headlines have been dominated lately by the creation of several basketball leagues, like the Overtime League and the Professional Collegiate League. So, is college basketball on its deathbed? Joining us now to talk about this is USA Today sports national columnist and college sports expert Dan Wolken. Thank you for joining us. So, Dan, these leagues are aiming to challenge college basketball for top players, but the big question I have is, why now? And is the G League the reason behind the startup of these amateur leagues?
Over time, there's been people who have tried to put together some type of alternative to the NCAA, but for whatever reason, they never really got off the ground. Either they didn't have the funding, the organization, sort of the buildup. But last year, when the G League started their Ignite program as a way to keep the best players who didn't want to go to college in the United States, instead of having to send them to Australia or Europe and have NBA front offices and scouts have to travel all over the world to go see these guys before the draft. Hey, why not put them in the G League, put a development program around them, and then we've already sort of got a really good read on who these guys are. So that sort of proved that there was an interest on the players' part. And now with these leagues like the Overtime Elite League and the PCL, they have the funding, they have the organization. In Overtime's case, they've got a big media company behind them. So the pieces are kind of falling into place for something like this to work. And you've already seen the Overtime Elite League. They've signed 4 kids already. They're going to have a lot more. And now it's just a matter of actually getting up and running, which they are going to do this fall. And then we'll see what the audience is for it.
The NCAA waited so long to get on board with this new age of sports and so long to get on board with name, image, and likeness. So do you think because they waited, it's going to negatively affect them in the future?
Well, I think that the NCAA throughout this entire situation has played it incorrectly. They had opportunities for many, many years. It was clear this was going to be a big issue. It was clear that it was going to have to happen at some point. I think that they have allowed this window of opportunity to build, to open up for Overtime, for the PCL, for any other league, the G League, that might want to go get players. It's now, I think, something I would characterize as a true competition for the top young basketball players in the country.
Okay, Dan, so I want you to put yourself in their shoes. Not saying that you have to tell us exactly what you would do, but if you were an 18-year-old, how would you decipher choosing between, going the college route, doing this overtime, going overseas, the G League?
Listen, I think it's hard to tell people what to do with their own career and their path and what's best for them, because I don't think it's the same for everybody. I certainly think there's a lot of value to be had in the college experience, even if it's just for 1 year. And certainly you've seen players from Kevin Durant and Derrick Rose going to college for 1 year, all the way to just a couple years ago, Zion Williamson. These are players who went to college and significantly raised the amount of marketability and value that they had because they were on the biggest stage possible in college, and they succeeded and they became stars already before they even took one dribble in the NBA, and that was worth a lot of money. I think both paths have legitimacy and their pluses and minuses, and that's the whole thing here, is that now there's going to be options, and I think optionality is good.
Because of the tradition and the fandom that comes with the school and the loyalty to certain programs, do you believe that the NCAA sports as a whole will survive these leagues and multiple options popping up?
Listen, I don't think anyone really is going to say, I'm not going to watch Duke, North Carolina tonight because I'd rather go watch the Overtime Elite League. Like, that's not going to happen. College basketball is too deeply rooted. It's got big enough brands and fan bases that I don't think college basketball is going to lose viewers. I think what, especially like this Overtime League is trying to capitalize on, is the culture and the generation of people who are fans more of players and personalities than they are teams. So it's not necessarily direct competition with the NCAA for viewers. It's just a different way of presenting basketball and marketing to a somewhat different audience. I think the real competition is just with players, who is going to have the advantage to sign the best talent?
Hey, sports fans, if you want to watch more sports seriously, be sure to check out these clips right here. And make sure you're subscribed to the channel to see all the great content from us here at USA Today Sports.